Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. I'm an exercise physiologist, and today I want to talk to you about food addiction and emotional eating. So we've all probably emotionally ate at some point in our lives, whether we were sad, whether we were happy, whether we were stressed. Food can be used as a crutch for some people, and it can be an addiction for some people. There are studies out that say certain processed foods and levels of sugar and other chemicals can trigger the same response in the brain as heavy drugs such as heroin, cocaine, and others. And a lot of times people that are alcoholics or have been alcoholics will become sugaraholics or have food addictions after recovery because maybe the addiction hasn't fully left them and they're just using another pathway in order to get that same feeling, the dopamine response, and that high. So there's a lot that is involved physiologically, chemically, within our brain and within our emotions. But the main thing, because this can be a very sensitive topic, the main thing I want to emphasize is that everything I talk about on this channel, I really encourage you guys to bring your issues to the Lord. Hopefully you know God, and just ask Him to help you with whatever it is that you are dealing with. So if you are someone who is addicted to foods that are unhealthy for you, that are creating chronic illness and disease in your body, I want you to make it a commitment to pray. I want you to commit to praying about this issue and bring it to the Lord. Okay, there are strategies that we can do in order to help ourselves, but the best first thing to do is to ask God to be involved. All right, so a lot of people are basically committing suicide slowly with eating and with eating certain foods. So I don't have to mention, but I will, processed foods, boxed man-made foods, cookies, crackers, chips. When these things are eaten just the majority of the time, and people are using them for emotional reasons, maybe hiding foods and things like that, that's when it can be something that is dangerous and something that we really need to take seriously. Just because it's not known as a drug or alcohol or whatever, it's still something that is damaging the body and should be addressed. Okay, so addicts, just like everyone else, need love. They need love, they need support, and they need to hear the truth. So if you know someone in your life that is dealing with this issue, and again, it's a very hard topic, obesity, is just so prevalent in this day and age, and it's so common, but it doesn't make it any less sensitive of a topic for people, especially if they're emotionally eating. But letting that person know that they're loved, that they're accepted, and then telling them the truth about their situation and letting them know that there's another way to live, where they don't actually have to diet, they don't have to restrict calories. All they have to do is eat clean foods, fruits, majority fruits, vegetables, seeds, and minimize the animal and proteins and fats in their diet, and then they can eat as much as they want. Okay, a lot of times people overeat because there is a nutrient deficiency there, so they're not getting all the nutrients they need, and so they're just eating and eating, and the body's just trying to get those nutrients from the foods, but it's really not there. So eating nutrient dense foods is going to be really important to help you feel full, to feel satiated, to feel mentally alert, aware, and just feel happy and whole as a person. Macronutrients, we've talked about this before, versus micronutrients. So if people are eating a lot of carbs, dried packaged foods, that's going to be a macronutrient, that's a carbohydrate, but they don't always have those nutrients in them. Whereas like a blueberry is sort of like a carbohydrate, right? It has glucose, but it also has antioxidants and phytochemicals and things that our body needs, and that's going to give our cells the nutrients that they need in order to fight the free radicals in our bodies and to keep our bodies healthy and well on the inside. Okay, so the processed foods really affect the brain chemistry. So, I like to tell people, just because it feels good doesn't mean that it is good for you. So basically, like, you know, when you eat a piece of chocolate cake, it feels so good, it tastes so good, all these reactions are happening in your body, and your body is, or your mind is tricked to think that it is actually good for you, when in actuality it is not good for you. It is very, very bad, especially if you're having it a lot. If you have a piece of chocolate cake once a year or once in a while, it's not a bad thing. But if it's the majority of what we're having is what I need to say, okay, and emphasize. So a lot of different emotions can lead to food addiction, you know, fear, sadness, regret, anticipation, anxiety, depression, and so on and so forth. You know, even sometimes when we're celebrating, food addictions can be created. You know, if you were in sports when you're a kid, and the celebration is that cake and ice cream and whatever, and maybe you felt isolated from groups, and that was just the function of things that happened, you know, like, and you would just eat and eat and eat because you just felt like you couldn't really be yourself in a group, if that makes sense. I experienced that a little bit as a kid, as most people do, I think. And I think that is one avenue where the food addiction can come in, because, you know, foods, especially sugar, gives you like a boost of energy. It makes you have, you know, you're maybe more talkative, you know, so it kind of, alcohol, as it is processed in the body, turns to sugar as well. So, you know, it is sort of a similar pathway, and people can rely on sweets and other processed foods to be able to function as their normal self. And there's another area of interest that I found. You know, when you get the shakes, or you feel dizzy, or you feel like, you know, just not right, you know, and you think, oh, I'm hungry, I need to eat something. A lot of times that is because our body is detoxing from the substance that we've had previously. So if we're having things with a lot of sugar, a lot of processed sugar, a lot of, you know, chemicals and different additives and ingredients in the foods, it's going to drop off at some point once our body's it passes through our body, and after a couple of hours we're going to get that drop and feel like the shakes and all this kind of stuff. It's almost like, you know, someone with a drug addiction would feel, and they need that next high, they need that next hit. So then comes the candy bars and all the processed foods that are in our face constantly. We go to the grocery store, the gas station, anywhere, and that next fix is right there for us. And this is where the food addiction, you know, is just carried on throughout life, and especially American life. Okay, so if we're constantly eating or continuously eating, our body is releasing insulin like just rapidly throughout the day, and it never has a break. That can create disease, imbalances in the body, and lead to overweight and obesity. So you want to give your body a break. Intermittent fasting, if you're able to do that safely, you can look that process up. Basically, fasting for at least 16 hours. You can do it after dinner, or maybe fast for dinner. Or you can fast for breakfast, and let your body just work on the things that it needs to work on, and heal yourself where you need to be healed without having to digest food 24/7. Okay, and this takes a level of self-control. That's where, you know, like in the Bible, people will fast and things for the self-control, but that can apply to anyone and in any situation. You know, being able to restrict yourself from having constant pleasure all the time, and focusing on your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health, and diverting from that pleasure response, being able to grow yourself and just become a more healthy, well-rounded human being. And at first it's not easy, but it becomes easier, just like anything else. Okay, a lot I want to talk about. So I heard a doctor, I really like his talks, his Dr. Joel Fuhrman. You can check him out. I'll put a link to his website, and you can just look at his YouTube lectures and things. But basically, he says that people are too worried about being too fat, where in actuality we should be worried about being too skinny. We should eat just enough calories so that we have enough energy throughout the day without being too skinny. And he really talks about that a lot better, goes into depth in that topic. It's just really, really interesting. Okay, so we need the fiber also to make us feel full. So the nutrients, phytonutrients, as well as fiber. So again, whole fruits and vegetables, and as much as you need to feel full. Okay, again, there's so much brainwashing through commercials and different foods that are going to make us feel a certain way. Again, it's that dopamine response, it's that addiction. Okay, we want to be really careful with that. I also heard another perspective on this was food addiction and emotional eating they are very self-centered. So when things go wrong or when things go right, we're focusing on ourselves and getting that gratification through some external force or external entity or whatever, right? Be it the food, be it the drink, whatever, and getting that, oh, okay, I can handle it. Caffeine is a really big one. People can't function in the morning without coffee. And that is a habit and just something that is a part of life. And it doesn't have to be that way. If you're eating the foods that you need to be healthy and you feel nourished, maybe you're not going to need that coffee, okay? All right, so the steps to healing, like I mentioned before, we want to ask God to help us. We want to maybe practice intermittent fasting so we can have more self-control in our lives. We want to eat as many nutrient-dense foods as we want. Maybe consider taking a probiotic to balance that gut bacteria. You want to move in the morning and the evening, so try to move after you eat. Maybe make walks and physical activity more a part of every single day of your life. And then you want to stay hydrated. They always say maybe you're thirsty, make sure you're having pure water, that is not bottled. And, the recommendation is to have half your body weight in ounces in water as tolerated. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit different if you have a chronic kidney disease or you have some kind of issue going on there and the doctor wants you to limit your water based on your medication or something at this point. So, you should always follow the recommendations and then look for, alternative sources to treat whatever you have going on. There's a lot of herbs, a lot of supplements, there's a lot of foods that can really treat so many different illnesses. We just have to figure out what works best for our system and go with that. Okay, so you want to find something that helps me, find healthy treats. So, find things like if you want something sweet, or after you've, gotten yourself under control and you're in a healthy body weight and all that, find healthy things. So, I don't have dairy, I don't eat animal products like that. So I get like a coconut yogurt, and I'll put the link below. It's a really, really good brand. It's really clean, doesn't have any added sugar, and it tastes really good and it's creamy. Wish I had it here for you guys, but I'll put that link. And I'll put some berries, some blueberries in there, and I'll get some sort of like low sugar organic granola. I want to start making my own granola because I really do enjoy it, and just a little bit, and that's something that I can have that I look forward to, and that's actually like satisfying. It seems like a cheat, but really it's just a yogurt. It's dairy, and I don't promote people eating dairy, but if you do eat dairy, maybe you can get like a high protein or whatever yogurt that you like. Just make sure that it's clean, it's organic, so it doesn't have those hormones and stuff in it. It's really, really bad for us, the hormone, like non-organic milk products and dairy products. And then just have yourself a little parfait, something simple that you can do, and then focus on other things besides food. Okay, get addicted to exercise, get addicted to nature, get addicted to reading, get addicted to things that aren't necessarily something we have to put in our mouth and ingest. Okay, so the last thing, like I always tell you guys, turn off the TV. The commercials on the TV are just so brainwashing, as I mentioned before. You just want to turn off that TV completely and just look away from things that aren't in line with what you believe and what you want for your life, and focus on the things that are going to get you to where you want to go next. Okay, so this is just, my thoughts on the topic. This is a very, deeply rooted, I think, I don't want to say problem, it's an issue for a lot of people. I have a lot of people telling me, the majority of people that I see at my job tell me that they have emotional eating issues. So, it's an issue, and it's something that we can tackle together, okay? And just, being aware of your impulses and your emotions, and realizing that you're okay and you're allowed to have feelings, and just redirecting your behaviors to become more like the person you want to be, and then surrounding yourself with people of like-minded that have the same goals and want to be active and healthy as well. All right, so if you like this video, please like, you can comment, subscribe to my channel. You have to press subscribe, and you'll get a notification for future videos to come. Have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.